In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make some super simple, super cheap, heavy-duty hanging hooks that you can use for about anything on the farm. Let's get to it. All right, so here's the chain drag. And I haven't actually even mocked this up yet. But what I want to do is hang this up. This thing weighs like 60 to 70 pounds. Which is heavy. I mean, it's dragging all around as you're trying to carry it and all. But what I'm realizing now is in order to get it off the ground, I'd have to have this super high using these rods. So the question is, if I hang it off the drawbar here, I can put it about right there. Everything's off the ground. Should be good to go. So as you can see, I need a pretty heavy duty hook. Yeah, I could buy something, but I've got all these. I got a whole box of horseshoes here. I don't know, can you see that? Looks awfully dark. My wife works at a horse farm and I told her to bring some home when the farrier comes so I could use them for different projects and stuff. And I got to thinking, I was like, I could probably build some heavy duty hooks out of those. And if you do want to do something like this, on Facebook Marketplace, I see people selling or giving these old horseshoes away all the time. This is my welding setup that I made a video on, but I've got a Harbor Freight titanium Easy Flux 125 under there, and I have an Art Captain plasma cutter there. I'll put links to both of those in the description. First thing I need to do is grind these clips off here because we don't need those. Next thing I'm going to do is shine this thing up, I believe with this brush and my grinder here. This welding table, guys, has just turned out to be really nice for all kind of stuff. I mean, clamping stuff and grinding and just everything. There, that's shined up decent. I mean, this is a farm project that doesn't need to look perfect. Now, originally, I was going to make my hook before I went up there and actually, you saw me hang that thing up and realized I couldn't, it would be too tall to hang it by the ring of the thing, which would center it, and I need to hang it by the drawbar. Well, if I'm going to hang it by the drawbar, I need to have two things that it kind of sets on so it doesn't, the drawbar doesn't, you know, you'd have to get it dead on or the drawbar would go back and forth. Originally, I was just going to put a hook here in the middle, but I guess now I'm going to put kind of a hook here and a hook over here and weld it on. I was kind of thinking I was going to do this project without the plasma cutter, but I don't know. I went ahead and hooked it up just to make it easier. Plus, that's my last cutoff wheel for the grinder. I don't have much experience with this plasma cutter, which is kind of another thing. This is the Art Captain. I think it's the Cut 55. It's a non-pilot touch, so you don't need to arc it to do it. But I think, because I don't know what angle I need these cut, I think for right now I'm just going to cut these horseshoes in half and then kind of play around with it. I'm probably going to have to grind the angle on the edge here with the grinder, or just weld it at an angle. Alright, right there we are. Man, that thing just makes life so much easier. Alright. There's my two horseshoes. This is a nice helmet too, by the way. This helmet is nice because I have other helmets over there. Let's see here. Yeah, right there. But this one, it's a Yes Welder. I'll put a link to it, but it's got all kind of settings back up in here. And it's weld, cut, and grind. And the reason that's important is because like with arc welding or with plasma cutting, you don't need nowhere near the shade level that you do as when you're welding. And I actually have a chart here. So plasma cutting, 40 to 60 amps, which is what I was doing. I need a shade 6. Well, I couldn't go that low on my welding helmets without having something adjustable. Because see, welding, flux core arc welding, you basically need like a shade 10 or 11. So I needed something to do all of it. Where I just cut it in half, if I put it like that, it's not going to be a wide enough gap up here to get that big drawbar in. So I need this thing cocked out more like this, which means I need to change this angle down here. And it wouldn't be, if you're only doing one, you could change the angle, get it right, and weld it. But being I'm going to have two here and over here, I kind of got to get the angles somewhat the same. Your horseshoe's kind of flat on one side. It's got all that on the other side. So I'm going to put this against the post, because if I do this, it'd be harder to weld. So we'll do it like that. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of come in here like this and kind of draw a line here. That looks good to me. Draw a line there like that, where I'm gonna cut this one off at. So I got this one cut off. Actually used the cutoff wheel on the grinder just to get a dead on cut. So what I'm gonna do is overlay it on this other one. Boy, it's hot. And then go ahead and get my angle on that one. Man, I'm gonna have to put some gloves on or something here. I'll tell you, that thing is hot. All right, we'll overlay it right there. All right, right there we go. Need to cut it right there. All right, guys, so I got this piece. Well, I got them both cut to the same angle and all that. And I got this one mocked into position. Just using a little magnet from Harbor Freight. So I got both hooks welded up there. Turned out really good. I'll tell you one thing. I'm always amazed at that Harbor Freight flux core welder. Thing is amazing. I mean, I don't have hardly any time on it. But anyways, right here we go. Next thing I'm gonna do is probably drill out a hole here and a hole here, and then probably put a hole down here in the middle, and that'll be the mounting holes onto the 6x6. So I took this thing out and I put it up against the 6x6, and turns out this width here is like exactly the width of the 6x6. So if I used these holes here and just kind of enlarged them and drilled them out, it was going to put the hole and screw too close to the edge of the wood. So what I'm going to do is I've marked holes up here and I've punched them 1, 2, and then I put a hole down here 3. We'll drill that out, we'll countersink it, and then all we got to really do is paint this thing and be done. If I was building one of these again, I'd drill these holes before I welded these on. But I actually, originally I thought I was going to be putting the hole over here to the side. Now all I'm doing is taking a 3/8 inch bit. It's the same as the head of the screw, and countersinking this right here. I actually have countersinks, but I didn't want to use them on metal, so we're going to use this method, which works fine. A little bit more. Little bit more. That's perfect right there. Get you in there and show you. There's the countersink. There we go. Well, there's pretty much the construction of the hook done. Super fast, super simple. Got all the countersinks in there. Only thing left to do is throw a coat of paint on it. So it's been a couple days now. I got the hook painted with enamel. I mocked hung up the drag, and I found out I got lucky because for the drag to be off the ground like 6 inches or so, which is where I want it so I can blow leaves under here and weed eat and everything, this here needs to be literally right up here at these brackets. So anyways, I'm using 3.5 inch number 10 deck screws on this. I'm gonna need an extension to get in there. Be back here in a minute. All right, let's see if this gets me in there better. Oh yeah. All right, guys. Here is gonna be the moment of truth. It's not hard to raise up. Oh yeah, look at that. Does good. Got about, gosh, more than I thought, really. 10 inches or so of clearance down there. So, yep, that's gonna do good. All right, guys, well, here it is. Everything went exactly as planned. Got tons of room on the bottom now. You wanna have room there so you can blow leaves and weed eat and all that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, it did really good. So happy with that. So now I've got this one back here that I can easily just lift off and go do the driveway real quick. And I've got this chain drag over here that I can just lift off with the loader and go use in the pasture. Nice thing is these things aren't laying in the yard or the pasture. An animal's not going to get caught up in them. Even a deer, something like that. Even if, if they're out of their pasture, but a deer or anything like that could still get caught up. a tire, a bush hog, any of that. So they're just right up here like this. The other nice thing is they're not tangled up the next time you go to use them. And you can kind of get in here and clean them off and unclog them and that kind of thing. Anyways, guys, with that said, I hope you found it helpful. I hope you thought of maybe some uses that you have for some heavy duty hooks like this on your property as well. With that said, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I wanna thank you for watching, and we'll catch you again next time.